All right, it's noon on the dot. Hopefully everybody's day is off to a great start. I'm Fox 19 now, First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart with not so bad Monday or really not so terrible Tuesday either, but we got some issues. We have some snow outside early this morning. A lot of that is clearing its way on out. It won't be long before they drop the winter weather advisory through Mason and Robertson counties into Kentucky. It wasn't just Mason and Robertson counties, as you probably know if you're living in Kentucky, that saw some snow this morning. Some flakes were flying anywhere really from Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken counties, all the way into southeastern portions of the tri-state, like portions of Brown and Adams County. You probably have some fresh snowfall on the ground, whereas here downtown we've seen a whole lot of nothing. So if you're saying, what snow? That is why. Wasn't everybody this morning, but the First Alert weather day that we've been experiencing will soon come to an end. We'll be on our way to a pretty nice end to our Monday, and like I said, a not so terrible Tuesday. Let's get to it. Weather number of the day, it's below zero. It's 9.4. 9.4, that is the 9.4 degrees shy of normal we are experiencing so far this month. It's been very cold. I mean, I don't have to tell you that, right? You've been living it. But this is the data, 9.4 degrees below where we should be in terms of, compared to normal for this time of December already. The average monthly temperature, this includes both highs and lows, right? This is where we get 9.4, has been almost 30 degrees, 29.1 degrees. Right, so we should be sitting a little closer to about 38 or so, right? That's just quick math. I'm sure it's something different, but that includes, again, highs and lows, almost 10 degrees shy of where we should be for December so far. Now, it's still well off of where we could be in terms of the coldest ever. That was back in 1989, where we hit just 21.6 degrees so far into December. So very cold start. With it, we've had a lot of wintry weather. We are running well above normal for snow, as you probably also know. Officially at the airport for the season, still a 5.2-inch surplus. We're not too far away from the holidays. As I told you, don't get too attached to that snow if you're hoping it would stick around for a white Christmas. That's still more than 2 weeks away. It's not to say we can't see one this year. We've had a lot of wintry weather, right? We have another chance for some wintry weather before the week is up. We'll talk more about that coming up. Christmas Day, 17 days away. And if you have any shopping you're trying to get done this weekend, or you waited too long and now you're going to put up the Christmas lights outside, good luck feeling your hands. It is going to be a bitter, cold weekend. High temperatures running about 20 degrees shy of where they should be for this time of the year. Very, very cold. Then it leaves you just one weekend then before Christmas. Hopefully maybe that one will be a little bit warmer. Hanukkah begins in 6 days, and New Year's Eve, we round out the year in 23 days. That's how quickly things are going here in 2025. Speaking of going, this should go soon. A winter weather advisory for Mason, Robertson counties, purple shaded area there on the southeastern corner of the map. New snow, we're expecting, as a total, the snow that's been pushing on through, up to another half-inch, but that was early this morning. Probably not a whole lot of new additional snowfall, maybe a tenth of an inch in some spots. Not a ton, but it's enough to lead to the slick spots, right, as you're heading out and about, so just be aware of that. Just be careful as you're driving. Watch out for those slick spots this afternoon. Visibility issues should lighten up, too, within the next hour or so. You can see we've already started to clear back out here downtown. Northern portions of the tri-state, mostly clear skies. Still a few lingering clouds around downtown, and then the gloom is still in the southeast as well as the snow, but just about everybody will see clearing skies through the rest of this evening, and I know that sounds great. Who doesn't love some sunshine in a mostly gloomy December, right? Like taking the blankets off. That's going to allow that atmospheric, the heat to go right back into the atmosphere late tonight, and it's going to make it a very cold start to your Tuesday morning. A lot of spots will be in the mid to upper teens. Feels like-wise. Can't rule out some single digits tomorrow morning. Very cold start. Very cold right now. It just feels like 17 degrees. We'll put the icicles on. I don't know why that did that. We're not skipping ahead. Now I got the phone ringing. I don't know what button I just hit. Give me a second. Let's hop back. I don't want to skip ahead. What is going on in the streaming center right now? We got sound effects. We got a little bit of everything. Where was I? Let's talk about temperatures across the region. How about that? Again, hopefully y'all are having a great day. You can always chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. That's always fun. Always like to see where people are watching from here. So we can hammer it down to your location. Let's talk about temperatures. Feels like-wise. Like I said, this is going to get worse before it gets a little better. And by getting better, we're going to have to wait a while for that to get better. Tomorrow morning feels like temperatures can't rule out some single digits outside. And then it's going to be even colder this weekend. We could see some sub-zero feels like temperatures by the time we hit Saturday and Sunday. And sandwich in between, kind of a mess when it comes to the weather. So right now, that's what's left of the snow, right? I'll give you a closer view of this. It's just portions of Mason, Robertson counties, really for the most part, in the southeastern sliver there of Adams County. Vanceburg area, still seeing some of that snow outside this afternoon. That should exit fairly quickly. The bulk of the heavier snow in the dark blue shaded areas are already sweeping out, so it's just a few flakes flying out there. Not a lot of significant accumulation still lingering, and then the rest of the day, like I said, we should continue to improve. Now, high pressure will settle in, but only for about a day, right? It's not going to be great by Wednesday. And even that, the day tomorrow outside of the cold start and not so terrible afternoon, late tomorrow night, those clouds are going to thicken again, and winds are going to pick up very quickly. We're going to see some gusts by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, over 30 miles an hour. They'll gust to 40 by Wednesday. Windy and wet Wednesday, and like I said, that's ahead of our next storm system, which is going to be pushing on in. JD, I'm great. Weather for Canton will be very, very cold tomorrow morning. Very, very cold. Low teens and probably in Canton tomorrow with a little bit cooler wind chill. There's the clearing skies, and that's what we've been seeing on the tower cam and the camera over in Newport, a lot of the cameras out there. The farther north you are right now, the clearer it's already pretty clear. You can already see some blue here peeking in behind me. That's looking north from downtown. So the clearing is on the way. Just about everybody will see some clearing skies just before sunset tonight. Again, it sounds nice, but it works against us this time of the year because that the blanket of cloud cover is a blanket this time of the year. It holds in some heat. Without it, it gets cold. Tomorrow morning, chilly start. Otherwise, outside of some gloom, a not-so-terrible Tuesday. Compared to the last 2 Tuesdays, we'll take a not-so-terrible one. It was pretty lousy the last 2 Tuesdays. This one, uneventful. We'll take it. A little bit of gloom, and then the winds start to kick up about this point. 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Expect those gusts over 30 miles per hour. Here's the forecast temperatures through the next several hours, dropping back down to the low 20s by midnight, the upper teens tomorrow morning, if not the mid-teens, just depending on where you're at and how clear those skies will stay. 15 in Hillsboro, 17 in West Union. I have us at about 19 degrees closer to downtown. A few more clouds that sneak in just ahead of sunrise tomorrow might help to hold temperatures up a few degrees. That's why you're seeing some 20s into southeast Indiana and over near Owenton. Like I said, it does not stay nice for long. We have 3 more first alert weather days to tell you about. And the first of which is Wednesday, because it's going to be wet and it's going to be wintry, and we know those things regularly slow things down fairly easily here in the tri-state. Late Wednesday into Thursday, the rain will change to a wintry mix and then snow. Not expecting a ton of accumulation from that, but it's not to say we couldn't see some slick spots. We're well below freezing, mid-20s, as you wake up and head out the door Thursday morning, and a high of only 34 degrees. Here we go on the weather timeline, because it is a busy one. Stay tuned. Here we go. No problem, Philip. Hopefully you're having a great day. Windy and wet Wednesday. On this, again, expect some gusts 40 plus through the middle of the week as the storm rolls on through. Behind it, it changes to some wintry weather, right? Light wintry mix, and then just snow showers early Thursday. We could see a little bit of a dusting, maybe up to a half inch at a few spots. I mean, I think that's on the high end. I just don't think it has enough time to fall and stick very quickly, especially with all the wet weather we're going to see before. It gets it, makes it a lot more difficult for that snow to get a foothold. Late Thursday afternoon, we're drying back out. So that's why Thursday in the morning, that's the only portion of the day that has a first alert weather day designation. Thursday night, not bad, but try to get some chores in. If you need any wintry weather stuff, you need some more salt or whatever after all the snow we've seen so far, do it before Friday, because as early as Friday morning, that's our next first alert weather day. Snow will be pushing back in, and this looks to be the next best chance to see some snow stick, see some snowfall accumulation. So that's something we're keeping an eye on for Friday as this next system rolls on through the Ohio Valley. It's in, it's out by early Saturday morning, but much of the day Friday we could be dealing with some snow showers outside. Saturday we're drying back out, but we're not warming back up. This is going to be some of the coldest air maybe so far. I mean, we've already seen some cold days, but we're talking for Saturday and Sunday both. Highs maybe in some spots down to the teens, mid-20s, I think is conservative for most the tri-state. Some areas, though, it's going to be colder than that, and then especially the overnights. If we do see this clearing happening, as you can see it there, looking at the map, some areas could drop well into the low teens, if not the single digits. A little bit of a breeze makes it feel then like the low single digits, maybe some below zero wind chill values. Worst of that is going to be Sunday. What's wrong with that? That's the Bengals game. Next Bengals home game against the Ravens. If you thought it was bad in Buffalo, yeah, they're going to have some snow. Here, it will just be very, very cold. Snow in terms of totals, we don't know totals just yet, Kim. We're going to keep a close eye on that until the models get a little bit better, coming into agreement on that. But I would expect at least some accumulating snowfall on Friday. And travel issues, I think travel will be an issue in a lot of the tri-state because we're going to have that on and off snow likely through the day. So Friday evening, yes, there could be some travel issues still out there. So that's something we're keeping an eye on for Friday, and why that all day is a first alert weather day. This weekend, just really, really cold. Otherwise, not too bad. Hopefully, I know that doesn't answer your question specifically, but this far out, even 4 days out is too early to put, snow totals out there. Without just telling you very, as a blanket, we could see up to, 0 to 6 inches, right? I mean, that doesn't help anybody. So, yeah, we'll have that for you, and we'll get it out at some point here, either later tonight, probably more likely tomorrow. We'll have our first snowfall totals coming out. But don't be surprised if it doesn't come out till if the models are still as split as they are into the end of the week. It might be a little later, but we'll have those totals to you before we hit Friday for sure. But yeah, at a minimum, I would expect some travel disruptions. I think that's pretty likely into Friday. Just due to, how it is around here, am I right? We have sprinkles, we have a few snowflakes, people slam on the brakes, and it just causes problems. And we'll see. We will see how the end of the week turns out. Weekend is going to be cold. If you're heading to the Bengals game, I mean, we're talking at times single digit, if not below 0 wind chills early Sunday morning, right? It's not the freezer bowl, but it's cold. Make sure to bundle up, dress in a lot of layers if you're going to be out at tailgating outside and then you go to the game outside. I mean, that's hours and hours of exposure. You need to dress up like you're going to be, going to be out for some hours because it's going to be very, very cold. High temperature of only 25 degrees on Sunday, right? Very, very chilly, a little breezy too, so expect it to feel colder than that. Bundle up, don't have any exposed skin. Very, very chilly for the Bengals game on Sunday, and then next week, you guessed it, more weather happening. We have another chance for rain to slide back in late Monday night. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. This is still a week out. Just depends on where that freezing line ends up, but another impactful day more than likely with just the rain. But if we get the sleet and freezing rain instead of rain, that's currently up in northern Ohio, north of that I-70 corridor. If that sinks south next week, that'll be something to keep an eye on. And of course, this far out, it could disappear entirely. So just something to eyeball for next week, and then not warming up all that much until we hit the end of this forecast. That's when we'll start to see some warmer temperatures. So here are the next 10 days of temperatures, and finally, for what seems like the first time in a very, very long time, I have 2 temperatures on there that are actually going to be above normal. You can see the normal line that cuts through the graphic here. We'll be sinking our way back down. Very, very cold weekend, but we do rebound by the end of the forecast. Next Wednesday, next Thursday, a little warmer. So we're back above normal. It's not like a heat wave by any means. It's not going to be a really big swing because we're going to be about 20 degrees shy of normal Saturday and Sunday. 15 to 20 shy. We're not going to be 15 to 20 above, but at least we'll get back above. We'll take above. Anything above we'll take. Here's your full forecast here. I did not do the PM version, so this is what we get for right now because I just don't have time. But here we go. A lot going on here, a lot to break down. So we'll start with the first 7 days, and then we'll work our way up from there. Give me a second as I roller door that up to full screen so you can see it on those mobile devices. Your Monday, again, first alert weather day, quickly wrapping up within the next hour. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop the winter weather advisory down in portions of Mason, Robertson counties. That should be gone. And the rest of our Monday looks great, except for very cold temperatures. That'll drop, we'll drop just about area-wide into the teens for Tuesday morning. Chilly start, overall a pretty good day until the breeze kicks in late Tuesday afternoon. That turns from breezy to windy into Wednesday. We will see some gusts over 40 miles per hour to start Wednesday. It will be wet. That will have some travel impacts, and that is why Wednesday is a first alert weather day. Thursday, well, really Wednesday night into Thursday, that changes to some wintry weather. I'm not expecting much of accumulation Thursday morning, but can't rule out a slick spot. We'll see what happens. Either way, that lightens up, and the rest of our Thursday looks okay. And then another wintry weather maker takes over on Friday. And as Kim has mentioned and asked about, it's still too early this far out to give you any kind of idea on snowfall totals, right? Models are not getting along. Some have not a whole lot of anything on Friday, and some have some, what I would deem more significant accumulation. To close out the week. Either way, light snow, heavy snow, somewhere in between, I do expect travel impacts. So that is why Friday is another first alert weather day. So kind of 3 in a row to get through towards the end of the week, just days you need to be aware of and days you could have some traveling problems to close out the week. The weekend, things will get better quickly, at least in terms of snowfall versus sunshine. Not going to get better quickly. It's going to cool down very quickly. From 25 for a low Friday morning, 32 for the high, back to just 14 Saturday morning, 12 on Sunday. And that is one of the warmer temperatures we're going to see in the tri-states. Some areas are going to be in the single digits. And when you start to factor in a little bit of a breeze this weekend, it could feel like, times below 0 wind chills. So if you're heading to the Bengals game, not pleasant for various reasons, but the weather is one of those factors. 25, the high temperature for the second half of the weekend. Now, things do warm up next week. It goes from wintry to wet again with a high temperature of 36 Monday, 39 Tuesday. We're back into the mid-40s both Wednesday and Thursday of next week. All right. Warmer a little bit, back above normal. Wednesday will be our first above normal day. I'd have to go back and double check for sure, but it's been weeks, I think, since we've seen an above normal temperature. So we'll take it. Very, very cold start to December, as I showed you here off the top. And it's only a little bit better by the end of the forecast. I mean, it's still chilly. But we'll take some sunshine and 46 for Wednesday. Something to look forward to. It's only 10 days away. Don't forget, you can always follow me on social media. Would love to push these numbers up. Always looking to improve. You can follow me here on Facebook if you're not doing it already. I know we're also sending this video out to Facebook, so if you're watching there, always appreciate you. Thank you, Philip. You can tune in on Facebook anytime. It's Meteorologist Brad Maushart there. Twitter, X, Instagram, personal pictures. You probably have seen some of the photos from the conference I was at on Friday. You said, oh, no. A couple people were like, where are you? They thought I quit. They got fired. They can't get rid of me that easy. Well, they can, but let's hope they don't. I was down at a conference for digital meteorology, including things like this, streaming and whatnot, this past week. Got to hang out with some very cool and really, really smart people out there this weekend, and that was a long drive. So still catching up from that all the way down into, I don't know if you've ever been to Lawrenceburg, and I'm not talking Indiana. I'm not even talking about Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, but Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Turns out is not just east of Nashville like I thought in my mind. It is all the way down pretty much in Alabama. So that was a fun drive, and anyway, still catching up from that. But, however, if you want to follow me at these sites, that would be fantastic. We'll see you again at 3 and 4 o'clock. I won't have a whole lot to talk about at that point. We'll be highlighting all the sunshine we're seeing across the area. But with that said, it will not stay nice for long. As we mentioned there, several first alert weather days to get through, including one as early as Wednesday. Again, the one today will be dropped here very shortly. Wednesday, wet and windy. Some snow then takes over by the end of the week. Accumulation is possible, if not likely, there on Friday. How much? Still too early to tell, but could slow things down to close out the work week, and then Saturday and Sunday will. Improvement is all it's all relative. 27 Saturday. It won't improve temperature-wise, I'll tell you that. Those are our coldest days of the next 10, but at least we'll see some sunshine. So throw on the shades, throw on the biggest coat you can find, enjoy that Bengals game, or don't. I don't know. 36 Monday, 39 Tuesday next week with more wet weather. We'll see you again at 3 and 4 o'clock. Until then, do whatever you want. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you at 3 and 4 o'clock.